If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to Crappy Awesome. I think this is going to be a really cool episode, man. We've followed the gentleman who's a guest on the show today for quite a long time. I'd probably say back to the beginnings of Platform Collection. He was there, man. And our guest today, Namek, is in the house, man. Long overdue, my friend.
What up, brother? What up? Glad to be back, though. I know
Yeah,
it's been a while.
yeah, man. It's just, I mean, you've been working, bro. So it's not like it was for bad reasons. You've been working. You've been out there. You've been winning championships. You've been
Hey,
dominating the airwaves. You
man,
you've
crazy.
been all over, bro. So I think for people who are tuning in or new to the show, you guys can go to platformcollection.com right now, or you can go to Spotify or wherever podcasts are found, and then just type in Nabek's name to search for the podcast. He's had a few on the show where he's given a lot of his early years, his history. But today we're going to be catching up from like the last time he was on till now, and there's a lot to catch up on. So, dude, first of all, how are you? How are you feeling? You good? Everything's good. Family's good.
Yeah, family's good. I'm feeling cool. For the most part, my friends are good. I we're feeling good, man. Like this pandemic really hasn't I know it's affected a lot of people, but for some reason I'm grinding it out. I'm grinding it out as much as I can and
Yeah,
feeling great right now, The ride
yeah,
don't stop.
yeah, man. I okay. So last time we spoke, on the show, anyways, you were kind of like starting to get more. And this is fair to say. I think it was you were starting to get a lot more attention in Cali and the underground scene. Not that you hadn't already, but you had been building and grinding for a while, and it seemed like you were starting to get all the things that we thought you should get, like the things that you deserve: more notoriety, more push. Um, can you kind of take us through those early days of you kind of transitioning into like the label deal that you're in now, the how you're putting out music? How did that start? Like, where were you at? I think you had just released a CD,
Yeah.
and do you remember that one?
Yeah, it was a while ago. That one was Namafest Destiny, I think it
Yes,
was.
yes, it was. Yes, it
Yes,
was.
sir.
Yep,
You actually directed the Percy P video, which
that's
I'm
right.
grateful
That's
for.
right.
Thank you, my
Classic.
boy.
It's a
Yeah,
classic
yeah,
now.
yeah. Word up, word up.
Yeah.
Shout out Percy P, man.
Our,
Still the homie.
yes, sir.
So yeah, man. So after that album, that was kind of through like Abstract Rude's label, Keep the
Right.
Feel Entertainment. Big up to Ab Rude. After that, I ended up finding my way to link up with the big homie Cocaine, man, the legendary Cocaine.
Yeah.
Um, it's actually a crazy hip hop moment how I met him, man. I feel like all this stuff happens for a reason, bro. I was actually at the B-side show
Okay.
in the city of Covina, the homie spot right there. Shout out Rabbit, Shay, and all the
Shout out
fam
to
right
the
there.
homies. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Actually freestyling out there with Exit Stereo, I'm pretty sure it was, of the Shapeshifters and Cadillac Ron, rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Just on a
And
random, like just you guys were just
just
hanging
on
out.
a random, I think they happened to be getting interviewed that day, and I don't live too far from there, so
Right.
I had to pull up. And just so happened Cocaine was getting interviewed that same day, man. So he heard me freestyling and was kind of just like, ooh, he's like, hey, homie, like, let me go do this interview and then I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
So he ended up inviting me to his video shoot the next day with Corrupt and Trey D of the East Siders. A lot of the music that I pretty much grew up listening to, man,
Right.
like
Right.
Dog Pound and all that stuff. So it was pretty cool to get that invite. So, I showed up the next day. Everything worked out good, bro. I got, connections with Roscoe, the Dog Pound, which is Corrupt's little brother, ended up collaborating with him. It
Wait.
just
Wait.
felt like,
Let's slow down though. Like so. Okay. So you get the invite at that time because again, dude, it wasn't like you hadn't put in time. You know, people knew. A lot of
yeah,
the people in the underground knew what you were capable of. There was a lot of people that had been following you already. You already had built a fan base on your own. When you
right.
got that invite, did it seem like, oh, this might be something? This might be something here. You know what I mean? Did it feel like that, or were you just like, oh, I'm just gonna go to a video shoot and that's probably be it?
Nah, it felt like everything was aligning. Honestly,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I
that's
know
dope.
some people don't believe in that type of stuff, but I felt it because I forgot to mention I had previously just dropped an EP called "Open Eye" with my
Yeah,
homie Frankie Valentine,
shout out to
and
Frankie.
on that single, the first single on that EP was hosted by CC the Mamacita of K Day. So I
Right,
was already kind of like trying to hop into that West Coast G funky scene because it was already it was always in my heart, you know.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it was just crazy how that worked out. Cocaine hitting me up, who's the king of G Funk, one of the originators of it.
Yeah. So you get there and you're at the video shoot. Obviously, you're meeting everybody. Um, is it a little surreal for you? Are you like, oh man, this shit is really happening right now? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I ain't gonna lie straight up, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, yeah, like this shit is really popping off right now, man. Freestyling with Corrupt. Corrupt was like, "Hey, homie."
Wow.
I even mentioned it in one of my songs. Corrupt was like, "Hey, homie, you the illest Latino rapper since Big Pun, homie."
Woo!
Good looking out, OG.
Wow. Wow.
Appreciate it, bro.
That's amazing, dude. That's fucking
Yeah,
and from him. Oh my god.
yeah, from Corrupt, man. You know,
So
shout
yeah,
out to
and
the
here's the
legend.
here's the thing that I've always loved about you, brother, is that your humbleness and like your ability to stay a fan has you've never lost that. Like you've always been
Oh,
a
hell no.
fan of shit, and it's crazy like that you ended up where you ended up too because you had like that's verified that you had been listening that it influenced your music so much the sounds of the people that you now fuck with
Yeah.
a lot of them were even influenced by the same people you were influenced. So for you to just happen to like be there at the B side, so literally you're saying if you were not at the B side that night, that probably would not have happened, right? At least that situation.
Honestly, I don't think, yeah, that situation never would have happened, bro.
Wow.
I never would have linked up with Cocaine like that.
Yeah.
Never would have got that invite. And you
Wow.
know,
That's
because those
amazing, man.
I feel like those opportunities are hard to come by, especially with
Absolutely.
like industry cats like that. Just to see them right there and be able to, you know, talk to them in a certain type of way, and yeah, that they were feeling the vibe, bro. So it was all good. It was
Yeah, I
all
mean,
love.
and it's important too. Like for like we get a lot of young artists that listen to this show trying to figure their way through this industry. It's important that you guys know, like one of the things that Namek did, and this is why why a lot of the stuff happened is because dude had been preparing for that opportunity forever, right?
Oh yeah,
For an opportunity period. He knew he had sharpened his sword to the point where I just need somebody to see, right? And
yeah,
this is
yeah.
going to
Word
get to
up.
where it needs to be. Okay, so let's talk about like the you start working there. Things are starting. It seemed like, at least from the outside looking in, obviously it's always more complicated inside. But from the outside looking in, as a fan, I'm watching it go down, and I'm like, man, it's moving fast, right? Like it seems like all of a sudden, he's
Yeah,
dropping songs. He's got videos. There's tons of people of huge notoriety in videos. The Raider thing happened, right? The Raider
yeah.
thing kicked off. And let's
The
talk a
Raider.
little bit about that. How did that? I mean, that's got to be kind of a dream come true almost.
Yeah, the Raider thing happened. It was crazy. Big up to my boy Jimmy Lokes, man,
Yeah.
who's actually my partner in this Raider Nation blackout thing that we got cracking now.
Yeah.
Because of that song initially, because of the first Raider song that I did. And he pretty much just called me, him and the other homie Fabian out there in Porterville. They came at me one day and were like, "Hey, bro, you got to hurry up and just do a Raider song. Let's do a
Yeah.
Raider song." Simple as that, man. I did
Yeah.
the Raider song. It happened to do pretty well,
Wow.
and that shit didn't stop. Simple as doing a Raider song, man. Just keeping the Raider Nation flow, you know.
Yeah. And that's crazy. I mean, dude, talk about being embraced by a community. It's been awesome
Yeah,
to see that, dude. Like there's I'm a Raiders fan. I was
so
so I'm in like I'll just go into groups and see people like posting your video or talking about like, oh, you need to check out this dude Namek, like he's writing for the
yeah, man,
nation, and like, dude, it's um, did
it's
you
crazy.
feel like that wave of appreciation from that community was going to come like at that that big of a way? Did you know?
Honestly, I knew the song was good.
Yeah.
You know, I try to make it like a family oriented song. I didn't cuss in it at all. Usually,
Uh
you hear
huh.
about a Raider song, it's like, you know, fuck you, fuck this, da da
Yeah.
da,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some gangster type shit. But as for this one, I try to keep it as family oriented as possible, and it happened to work out for me, man. The beat was banging. Big up to my boy Garrett Hoy. So I knew something was there. I just didn't know exactly what it was going to be, and it turned out to be something cool, man. I ended up getting a lot of gigs from it. We
Yeah.
got flown up to Oakland a few times to perform at the Hilton. You know, free tickets to the game, meeting the players, all that good stuff. So
That's so dope,
it's
dude. Yeah, I mean the Raider players know who you are. Like it's a
a
trip.
couple
Like
of them. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. There's a quite a few that because like I said, I follow them. I know like they post shit and it's crazy. Okay, so you're going through that. Things are starting to speed up now. What do you feel like is like the next like major thing along your path that started to happen for you?
After the Raider thing,
Yeah.
after I think it happened. It was probably the Power 106,
Yes. Let's
the
talk about
Freestyle
that.
Fridays, man.
3 times, right? 3-time champ.
Three-time champ, and
Yeah.
hopefully it would have been more, but Jay Cruz ended up moving to 92.3, so they
Yeah.
stopped it. You know, because it was on
Yeah.
the Jay Cruz show on Power 106,
Got you.
and I guess Nick Cannon took his spot. Jay Cruz moved over to 92.3, and it kind of just stopped right there, man. So it was cool though.
What was
How did
that
that come?
environment like, man? What was that like? The talk about the first time you go up there to do that. What was that like?
The first time I went up,
Yeah.
I actually went against the three-time defending champ
Right.
who was the homie Roman.
Yeah.
Happens to live right here in Baldwin Park too. 626 Love. Shout out Roman.
Yeah. 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 In fact, he
Um,
was on last year's or earlier in the Thought Fest. We had him come out on the second
oh yeah, yeah,
stage.
he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So
Shit,
you're
that's
going
actually
against
pretty cool
him.
too. Yeah, so
Um.
I was going against him. He was a three-time defending champ. I had like a day's notice. Jeff Garcia from Power 106 hit me up. He was like, "Yo, we like your style. We like what you're doing. We want to invite you to come over to our Freestyle Friday battle tomorrow, in Burbank." I was like, "Oh
Wow.
shit, tomorrow? Let's do it." I've had to
Wow.
put aside everything else I was doing at the time and just went in for it, man. And
Yeah.
then I come to find out I was going against the three-time defending champ. I was like, ah, shit, let's
Wow.
get it.
So
I,
did you
I
think?
wasn't prepared at all, but man,
Yeah, let me ask you this, dude. Okay, because I've seen you battle a few times. These, by the way, are not like your first championships. Maybe arguably the biggest championships, but these are not your first champion. You've held some freestyle and battle belts in the
yeah,
past.
yeah,
Um, and when you're there, was the environment because this was like kind of their champ, right? Like Roman was their champ, 3 times champ. Did you
yeah.
feel like maybe you were going up there like they didn't know if you were going to win? Like did anybody were people betting on you? You think like did they at that time because they didn't really know what you could do, right?
Yeah, they didn't really know well, actually, I think Cece was working there at the time.
Okay,
And Cece kind of knew what was up with me because she was featured on my last EP.
right.
So I'm pretty sure she probably was talking a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hopefully she wasn't though, because I wanted to go in there like as the underdog, and just slay it. It was real close though. I think it boiled down to like Roman got me on the Twitter or something. Or Roman got me on the Instagram. I got him on the phone calls, and then I got him on the Twitter like 52% to 48% or something
Oh
crazy
wow,
like
real
that.
tight,
So
real tight.
yeah, so it was crazy, man.
Okay, so you win, and now you're the champ. Did you know immediately that you'd have to defend it? Like, was that explained to you right away, or did you just think that was maybe this was a one time thing?
No, yeah, they told me after they were like, yeah, we'll probably hit you up again in the next week or two, and we'll just look for a proper. I guess they take a while to look for proper opponents or whatever, or they try
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
and so it took like another 2 weeks or something like that. Went up against the other homie ARS. We did our thing. I happened to come out victorious on that one. Then it was like another 2 or 3 weeks or so, and what was the homie's name? Antoine. Went up against Antoine, and I came out victorious again, man. But those were some dope MCs. Homie can't take nothing away from them. I
No
just
doubt.
happened to do my thing a little bit better that day, man. So we kept it moving. I wanted to go. I wanted to get that 4P. Hopefully a 5, 6, 7. You never know, right? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess we'll never know now.
I guess
It's
we'll
all good
never
though.
know. Who knows, dude? Who knows? Maybe one day we'll find out. I mean, I feel like at some point you're probably not going to be battling on there. You're probably going to be pushing, your albums to the Grammys or something like that. I feel like
I don't know about the Grammys, but I'm at least trying to push my music on mainstream mainstream sources and radio stations like that. And
absolutely,
I feel like it's that time.
it's so
I still
ready.
I still bring the soul. I still try to incorporate the soul and the funk into it, and I hope people see that. But it needs to be heard, man. It's time to be heard.
Yeah, dude. Did you feel any like was there anybody who like disagreed with the path? Was there anybody who was like, oh man, like you don't go that way?
Hell
Because
yeah,
people appreciated you in the underground for sure. But I can tell you this, dude. From our side, looking at that, I was like, yeah, it's about time. You know what I mean? Like it's about because to me, you were making radio music, music that could be bumped on the radio forever. Not radio music, but music that could be bumped on the radio for a long
yeah,
time. You've been doing that, and and it was weird. So that's what I'm asking. Obviously, fans can be fickle, supporters can be fickle. Was there any
yeah.
blowback from that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I had a bunch of comments or just heard through the grapevine that people were saying that I turned soft and this and that, and
Oh wow,
I started bringing like more melodies into my music and shit because I always loved the R&B too, man. Like
right?
if you really go back to my original shit, like 2008, 2009, I was singing back then too,
Yep.
but I just happened to link up with certain underground heads and was featured on certain albums, and I part of Chamber Records and all that, where everybody thought that that was all I could do.
Right.
So
Right.
it, and once I started getting the actual production that I always dreamed for, which was more of that like official G funky
Yeah. Yeah.
West Coast shit, I took advantage of it, bro, and just rolled with it.
Yeah, I would have thought that that makes complete sense that like what it was you also needed to link with producers that you were going to be able to do all those things with, right? To put all your
Yeah,
talents out on because that's tough to find that. If it seems like the people you work with now seem to really understand like what you want to do because it seems very concise, it seems very like well thought out. But yeah, dude,
yeah,
like what I mean, of course, people are gonna talk shit about anybody who levels up. That's just the way it is, right? And then supporters who understand and like who like literally. That's why it wasn't that big of a surprise to me because I was paying attention to the music. Like you can hear it in the music. Like you've
yeah,
been on this show talking about how you were heavily influenced by oldies and
yeah,
rock and
yeah.
like all these different things and you loved melody way early on. You were talking about that way early on, but the opportunity to do all those things sometimes is solely based on the ability to be able to like create it with another producer or on the level that you want it to be, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like I found him, bro. I found the 22-year-old white version of DJ Quick, my boy Garrett Hoy, man.
Oh
That's what I
wow.
call him.
Yeah.
Well, now he's like 24, 25, but when I met him, he was like 22, knocking out that G-Funk shit. And man, bro, he pretty much, over the past 2, 3 years, he's produced like 60, 70% of my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, him and my boy Frankie Valentine, man. Those are like my main two. Of course, I still got Spock Beats holding me down when I want some of that boom bap or something a little different.
Yeah.
Got other producers out there that I've been working with too. So
Yeah,
it's
man. I applaud the producers that you are working with though, because it definitely seems like they've put together this great package around you as well. It seems like also there's a lot more time spent on just the entire package altogether. It seems like the videos are bigger, the everything's bigger, right?
yeah, yeah.
Has that how's that experience been, dude? Because again, dude, like we've shot with a Sony camera and everybody piled into a car to now you're shooting and you've got assistant directors and lighting people and all this different stuff.
Yeah.
How has the transition been? Has it been an easy one to make for you? Has it been nerve wracking? Has it been like what? How's it been?
I just feel like it's all part of the process now. It's cool.
Yeah,
It seems natural. Everything flows natural to me. And half of the time, I'm still like co-directing my shit anyway. Like it looks like there's assistant directors and motherfuckers out there like that. There is, don't get me
yeah,
wrong, but at the end of the day, I still know what I want in my head, and we're still doing a lot of the work too.
that's
So
dope.
it feels good to be hands on as well.
That's really dope. You feel like you're always going to be like that? Is that just kind of the artist you are?
Yeah, yeah, it has to be like that. Right now, I'm going back and forth. He's texting me right now. I'm going back and forth with the director of my last video. My next video coming out, which will be "Lovely California,"
Dope.
the second single off of this album, "No Dress Code," which is on Thump Records,
Yes,
Final Level
sir.
Music. But
Classic Thump Records,
yeah,
by the way. People don't know the history behind that label. It's been around for many years. Um,
yeah. I
and
never would have thought I would drop an album on that label, man. It's crazy how shit works out, but hey, salute to Thump Records because
salute to Thump Records.
everybody really thinks, and they know it. Everybody sees Thump Records as like a Chicano rap label for the most part,
Yeah,
and that's kind of the stereotype they get. But if you listen to my music, I'm nothing like that. I may look like it at certain times. You see the bald head and everything, and that's what people assume. But when they actually hear the albums, they're like, hey, this fool's hip hop, or this fool
oh
ain't,
yeah,
he shouldn't even be a part of this label. But that's what I wanted to do because the community is still, in, the Chicano culture and the community is still Thumb Breakers, no doubt. So I just wanted to let people know, like my boys, like we can do hip hop, we can do that gangster shit, and we could pretty much do anything we want to do,
yeah,
because that's what it
yeah.
boils down to.
I mean, it's super dope to see you too. Like, I mean, that's the thing. What I'm talking about is like, what you're doing seems very thoughtful because there's I know that thing that you're talking about, the diversifying the sound, especially in the Latino community, has been something that you've championed for a long time. You've always
Uh,
said we could be more than just what people think we are. You've taken a lot of pleasure in fooling people by them trying to read the cover before they read the book. Um,
yeah,
in fact,
yeah, yeah.
in fact, I think we can say a lot of the times. I mean, I've been in places where people go, oh, this guy, I'm battling this guy next. Oh, this is going to be easy. He's going to come out. And we've all laughed our asses off because they didn't know what was about to happen to them. But that's the cool, I think that is a cool thing, man. And I think it is important. I think it's important that artists like you speak about those kind of things because there is so much more to the Latino community and our community abroad. There, none of us are the same. You know what I mean? Like none of us are the same. We all have different things that we like, and then there's things that we all like. You know what I mean? Like so, I think it's really cool. I think Thump is a cool place for that. How's been the? I mean, you're on a label. How's been the label situation?
Yeah. It's been cool, man. It started through my homie Henji, who's
Hmm.
actually managing me right now. Final Level Music, big up Henji Garcia.
Shout out to
For those,
Henji.
yeah, for those that don't know Henji, he's actually an old school rhyme syndicate
Yes,
with
sir.
Ice T and a DJ Evil E. So yeah, it's pretty much a Final Level started with Ice T.
Yep.
Henji kind of took it and made Final Level Music, so that's where we're at with it right now. And it feels cool, man. We start well. He's had a 25+ year relationship with Thump Records, so that's kind of how that like intertwined together.
Yeah.
Album dropped on Final Level / Thump Records / Universal Music Group. So I was like, oh shit,
Oh
we
wow.
official right now. At
Yes,
least for
sir.
this album, it's super official.
Yeah.
And
So
not to say that not to say that my last one wasn't in Amsterdam on Cocaine's label Buddy Boy.
yeah.
That felt very official as well. But we're just keeping it moving now. It feels great to be in this position right now, man, and to have homies like backing me up and shit, and legends in the game, bro. Like Henry Garcia, can't go wrong with the OG holding you down like that, man. So big up to my boy Jimmy Lopes, because if it wasn't for Jimmy Lopes, I never would have met Henry, I never would have met Spider, and this possibly never would have been happening either. So
Wow, dude, did you ever think? Do you have moments to yourself right now? I know things move fast and we're in crazy times, but do
yeah.
you have moments to yourself where you think like, man, like you think about those shows where you'd show up to a show and then two or three people might be there, or bad promoters, or
Yeah.
bad tours, and at those times it might have seemed like a really big deal, right? Like it seemed like it was enough to get people mad. It was enough to like and now when you look back on it, it's got to be again, like I said, it's got to be surreal to go like, oh yeah, that was just those were just little tiny steps to this bigger thing. And at the time, they seemed so important, though. You know?
Nah, for sure. Because who wants to be performing in front of two or three people, right?
Right?
but
Yeah.
but hey, she looked back at it and it was like that was all part of it. That was fun. Shit, that was
Yeah.
fun.
It was,
Rapping in
man.
front of rapping in front of the homie and two of his hoes.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it's funny because it's a lot of those times is where you kind of sharpen that sword. You know, I feel like, if we can look at you, if we started writing your book today, right, and it's far from being over, but if we started writing it today, we could already start seeing the lessons in like, oh man, you just really do have to like not stop believing in yourself, and really really, even if it just comes down to you, if you're the only one believing it, it's still gotta be, you gotta stay strong to that. And luckily you had a lot of support. I was gonna ask you about your parents, man. Your parents have been huge supporters of yours early on. I remember going to the studio back in the day, like they've all, your dad was always kind of proud of like what was going
Yeah.
on. They got to be happy, right?
Yeah, man, my pops, he's always showed love with the music thing.
Yeah.
My mom, at first she was a little skeptical, but she sees shit cracking, and
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
the
It changes
the
when the sun's on the billboard.
yeah, yeah, right. That's crazy too. That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to be on that one too. Shout out to the homie Battle Rabbit with that one. But yeah, man, they I'm very appreciative towards that because
Yeah.
I know a lot of artists and shit. They well, like like Nas. What wasn't his pops like a
Jazz
musician, a
player.
jazz
Yep.
musician?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of other ones too. The homie Cocaine, his pops was part of Motown.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I wish my dad was part of something, but at least he and was like really official with the funk and the oldies, which always
Yeah.
stuck with me.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad he introduced that to me, and he sees me incorporating that in my music and sees me riding with it. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, man.
proud moment type
It's
shit.
gotta be, dude. It's gotta be a proud moment. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. Like, it's it it is undeniable influence on you. You know what I mean? Like, it's undeniable. So I think as a dad, no matter what, you can look back at that and go like, yeah, there, I see the funk. I see the funk in him. I see the soul that I sprinkled on him early on. So that's got to
Mm.
be prideful, you know? Let me ask you this, dude. What's like the future look like for you? We're in crazy times, right? Obviously there's this pandemic, there's social unrest. Actually, let's get into this. Where were you when the pandemic was announced, and what was in the plans that may or may not have been disrupted by that?
Hmm. Where was I when it was announced, man? I was pretty much getting ready to drop the album.
Yeah.
I was in OG Tommy D's studio a lot. Actually, that's where I was. I remember that shit. And I was like, oh, it's really going down, down, down. It was in downtown LA too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, OG Tommy D, he's a legendary death row engineer. He actually mixed my last album. He
Yeah.
mixed a lot of stuff for Tupac, Machiavelli. And I was like, damn. So it was a blessing to be working with him through
Yeah.
Hanji as well. But man, like I said, we were just in the works and in the midst of getting the album done
Hmm.
back in February or March. Oh, it
Yeah.
was February, right?
Yeah. It happened right at March 12th, I believe. March
Yeah,
12th is
yeah,
when
March March
things.
12th.
Yeah.
So I was literally supposed to drop my album, bro, in like April, and this
Oh
pandemic
wow.
fucked everything up. I didn't end up dropping it until late July,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
took like 3-4 months off. Which actually, at the end of the day, though, I felt which was better because it gave more time to kind of just promote it and build the relationship a little bit more with them to where they actually believed in me more and were like, okay, we see this fool putting in work and we see the grind. We're really gonna ride with him and go full force. And that's where they linked up with Universal Music Group and actually made that solid deal happen. So, like I said at the beginning of the interview, the pandemic has actually kind of like helped me out a little bit, man.
Yeah. 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 Dude, you're not the
Yeah,
first person on the show who said that. Honestly, like I've said this a couple times. Like my creative artist friends, like the people who are constantly creating shit,
yeah,
this was almost a blessing for them. You know what I mean? Like it actually got to slow things down for them to do all the things they wanted to do. Whereas
true.
like my friends who are like super super social and want to be out all the time, and they're hurting right now. You know what I mean? Like they're having a harder time than a lot of my friends in the hip hop community seemed like it was business as usual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So don't get me wrong, like the shows have stopped. I know that stops
Yeah,
some of the money flow, especially for a lot of the bigger artists who like go on like major tours and stuff.
for
They
sure.
ain't that cash flow ain't coming in for them right now. But for me, man, like I feel like I was still getting on that level to where I wasn't making the most money at shows. I was getting some. It was cool. I wish, don't get me wrong, I still wish shows are going on right now, but it's cool. There's still people throwing little events here and there. I'm rocking an event this Saturday, bro, in Riverside. So
Right on.
this it ain't gonna stop us. Wear your mask, respect other people, keep it rocking, man. I'm not gonna say I know everything, and I hate when people say that they know exactly what's going on, man. The only
Right.
thing I
I
really
don't think
do,
anybody does. Yeah.
yeah, the only thing I know for a fact is that we don't know shit, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as because touring was such a big deal, man. Like, that's the part. Definitely, the live show thing is something I'm missing tremendously. I
Yeah,
wonder. I've talked everybody that I've had on, Rev, Curtis, fucking Noah, everybody. I've been talking to everybody, and I've asked them all the
so
same thing. When do you think, if you had to just make a crazy guess, when's this thing when are we gonna be able to be out on the road again? You know what I mean? Like, do you see that anytime soon?
bro, this is my little conspiracy theorist time.
Sure. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. You know you're in the
Nah,
right place for that.
nah, man. I just feel like this shit ain't ever gonna stop now.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever gonna go to Raider Stadium again. You
Mm,
know, there ain't never gonna be no fans in the stadiums again. Like,
yeah.
there's never really gonna be no festivals anymore and shit. They're gonna say what they say in 2022 it's coming back again or shit like that. But I don't know, man. This new world order thing, I think it's real, man. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
These this shit is all predetermined, homie. And
Yeah.
like I said, we don't know shit, right? I don't know
Sure.
shit, but
Sure.
that's kind of just what I'm thinking. And I don't
Yeah.
want to get too deep into politics and the Democrats and all that crazy shit, but
I got you.
yeah, man.
I feel
Feel
you.
me
I mean,
though?
I don't think you're alone. I definitely don't think you're alone on that. I feel like there's I think I see a lot of people making moves in the industry and trying to predict things. I
Yeah,
definitely am not one of those people who's in that category. I feel, in fact, most of the advice I give to like our business partners and other people that we're working with is just it's way too early, man. It is
yeah.
way too early to even figure out where this is going to. I mean, we're not
It,
even
it's
technically it's not even the
obviously
second wave, right?
not. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And they're saying it's all on the vaccine, right? So if we all got the vaccine today, then it's back to normal.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's really not back to normal.
Right, right, right. I mean, just having to get a fucking vaccine for the world is scary enough for me. Do you think that uh when you were like when the pandemic hit, did you think, like, did you, obviously, you know, you're alluding to the fact that you've read into some of this stuff. You're definitely trying to educate yourself on, you know, the world, but you always have. Um
Yeah,
ha,
somewhat,
did
you know.
did you think that this was gonna be what it is when it happened? Were you like,
Nah,
oh
hell
shit,
no.
here we go?
At first, I didn't think it was gonna be like this. I knew it was gonna be something,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I really didn't think it was gonna last this long, and I didn't think all this. I feel like it all ties into the BLM and everything too, bro. Like
sure.
this,
It
this is
seems like it.
crazy.
Yeah, it
It
seems
seems
like
like
it.
it, right?
Yeah,
Perfect timing, right? Is it that much of a coincidence that all this is cracking right now? Like I don't think so.
yeah, yeah. And
And
it's interesting.
I get hated on a lot for that, bro. Like
Really,
just
in the
because I don't like always hashtag it or whatever. Like
yeah.
people are out there hating, and half the time it's not even the black homies. I'm like,
Yeah, dude. I
but,
feel like it's like I don't know, man. I think I would say that I feel personally that it's weirder for you not to think crazy shit is happening right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you just got to look around.
yeah,
You know
man,
what I mean? Like,
that's
it seems
all you
pretty
have to do.
weird Yeah. But that's America, fucking America, man.
That's America for you in
Yeah.
2020, especially.
Yeah. So are you thinking, are you starting to strategize? Because obviously this is going to, I mean, for sure already the entertainment business has taken major blow because of this. We
Yeah.
got movie theaters shutting down. We got studios shutting down. Um, have you started to strategize? And obviously you don't have to share that, but I mean, have you at least started to strategize like, okay, we gotta go about this a little different? Are there already things in the works?
No, yeah, yeah, man. Just a whole different mindset and outlook on stuff now.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course, the music grind is never gonna stop. Like it's my heart. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like the words that I say and the songs that I make, even if it only changes a few lives, it's worth it. And I
Yeah.
know that it already has, and I feel like it will in the future. So it's always gonna be with me. But just switching up a few things here and there, and
Yeah.
keeping my health up is a real big thing now because just in case
That's a
stuff
big
really,
one.
really pops off, man. That's why I'm really trying to chill on the drinking thing and everything. Everybody knows Namek is the one who likes to drink and party a little bit, but
And you're not anymore? How's
I'm
that?
I'm really I'm really, really trying to stop
Oh
stop
wow.
all the hard liquor, bro,
Uh-huh.
and and really, really cut back on the beers and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Did
And
you what do you feel like, cuz for sure and I mean, to be honest, it could just be time. But also it does feel like, I can tell you this, dude, having not talked to you for a minute, um there definitely seems to be this underlying maturity and like just calmness to you. Are you, is that something you're working on? Do you feel like like just these events that have happened to you in these past years have matured you a lot?
honestly, I think this is the first time we've talked that when I'm sober. That's
Yeah,
probably why.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Usually, I'm always buzzed around all the homies, or around
So
events.
talk about
We
that.
always chop it up at events and music videos
Uh
and
huh.
stuff, and that's when I'm always buzzed. Right now, I'm sober. Took a couple hits of weed.
Yeah,
I'm chilling. Feel good. My body feels good. To be
yeah.
real, I went to Vegas last weekend and I came back and I was like, all right, man, I'm getting too old for this shit, homie.
Wow.
Like this
Yeah,
shit just, I feel it in my body. Like I gotta chill. I gotta chill. I'm just keeping it
yeah,
real.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That's dope, though, man. It's dope. I think it's you always want, I feel like if you're a fan of an artist, you always want an artist to come into that level of maturity as they are getting the things that you're getting right now, because
nah,
sometimes when
word.
that, because sometimes it's the opposite, you know what I mean, and then it's all bad. Like they
Yeah,
they
they get more fucked
completely,
up.
yeah, they completely lose it, and then you're just like, oh fuck, that would have been dope, but now
Yeah,
they're in jail
and
or something.
and it's super cool that I got big homies and influences that are telling me to stay on my p's and q's.
That's dope. That's very
Yeah,
dope.
like, it's cool. It's cool.
So how you been, other than recording music, um and it seems like you've been doing a lot of that, like, how have you been passing this time, man? Like, has it been frustrating for you, not being able to like see maybe everybody you'd want to see? Like, how have you been dealing with it?
It's not like I haven't been traveling.
Yeah.
I've been going out. I've been going to the beach. I've been getting my mind off of this stuff, going certain places.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just came back from Vegas last weekend.
Yeah.
You know, headed back out there next month for a meet and greet with the
Yo.
with the with the Raider Nation. The Vegas
Nice.
team.
Nice.
Even though there's never gonna be fans in the stands again, the Raider Nation is still in Las Vegas now, so it's a beautiful thing. So we headed back out there next month for the meet and greet. I'm keeping my mind busy, man. Keeping my body busy.
Yeah.
And besides recording music, I got the studio where I also rent it out and I engineer and stuff too. So
Right,
got like
right.
clients here and there, and
That's
so
dope.
yeah, man,
That's super dope.
staying
Yeah,
busy with it.
I was thinking about that before we linked up today. I was like, oh man, this guy's second home is going to become Vegas. It's just,
Mm,
that's just part
maybe
of it. You know what I mean?
no,
Because
it
you're
is
so
straight up.
embraced by that community, and it's just right there. It's not. It's a quick drive. It's a quick hop over there.
It's quicker
And
than it was in Oakland.
yeah, hell yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be super dope to watch that. And I feel like, yeah, that city, right? That city's has taken a major hit.
Yeah, man, it was kind of crazy just to be walking around there and
Yeah, what
It,
was
it,
that like?
it wasn't like it wasn't a ghost town, but
Uh-huh.
it
But you could
was in
tell.
Vegas either. Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that's
was
got to
crazy.
be. Yeah, I was thinking about like when people like cuz that's like one of the because it's based around fun and it's based around relaxation. A lot of people tend to forget about like the nightlife people, and I have a lot of friends in nightlife, and I was talking to a friend who actually owns a club down here in San Diego, and you know, they're starting to have that talks of like, man, we might not be able to keep this open, you know, because you go literally. People don't understand. Like a good nightclub can make a 10,000 in a night like nothing. Like that's
Yeah, straight
nothing,
up.
you know. So for that to go away, you know, like you're not doing that anymore. It's a major life change. You're talking about staff has got to go, entertainment's
Hmm.
got to go. Maybe you're not, and
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting. Again, I think it's too early to predict, and I hope for the best, but
So do I, bro.
that is a scary thought to start seeing like, oh man, like the spots we used to perform at are not, they might, you may never perform there again, not because they're not open, just because they just never coming back. You know what I mean?
We're never coming back, man.
Yeah, dude.
I hope we're wrong though. I hope
I
I'm
do
wrong.
too. I do too, man. I hope for the best of us. I feel like one of the things that I've been talking a lot about friends with is so far, and this is, I've become like a history buff on this kind of stuff because I'm so interested in the fact that after every pandemic that has touched the planet in modern times, right, all the way back to the 1800s, 1700s, a renaissance of art and innovation happened almost immediately after, right? Because a lot of artists they have the time to
Yeah.
really develop into the things they want to be. And again, everybody, Picasso, Rembrandt, everybody came out of these times where it was the world was black for a while, it was dark and cloudy,
Mm.
and then out of that comes the Renaissance. And it seems like, I feel like the people like yourself, like the people that are in place to kind of take us in that direction, it again, dude, like it's as much as things, you said, you alluded to this a little earlier on the show, as much as things seem like they are bad at times, man, it really does seem like a lot of this was meant to be, though. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to not think that, especially when
Yeah.
I'm excited about like the art that's going to come out of this. I'm excited about the innovation that's going to come out of this because I see all of my friends are getting busy right now, you know, so it's
Most
going to be
dead.
crazy, you know.
And a lot of my homies, like my talented producer homies,
Yep.
I don't want to mention names because I don't want to put them on blast. But a lot of my talented producer homies are kind of experimenting on a lot of fungus right now
Yeah.
and getting super creative
Yes.
with it right now. You know,
Yes.
so so
Yes.
I can't wait to see what comes out of that, bro.
I think that's going to be. I think that what you're alluding to. I think that's going to be a major trend as a whole. I hear more and more people that I never thought would be
Yep.
doing that are doing it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be getting more into the mainstream. I hope, bro, you know, because you're an experiencer of it. Um, life changing, life changing.
Especially
Sometimes I,
DMT, bro.
oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. We've had our conversations about DMT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few friends that I never thought, because yeah, when you're sitting at home and there's not a whole lot to do, your mind starts to go and you start going like, hey, maybe there's something to this. And sure enough,
Hmm.
man, there's been times where I've dreamt like, dude, too bad we couldn't just like crop dust the planet with a little bit of DMT here and there, and
For real, man. Or if
sort things
everybody
out.
like microdosed every day, if everybody
Yes,
microdosed a little bit of shrooms every day, it would be a
every
way better
day,
place. I mean, the world would be a
absolutely.
much better place.
Absolutely, dude. I think that it's yeah, it's again, so we were talking about how things kind of just are meant to be. That again was part of what launched a lot of the Renaissance in the past, where was again psychedelics. Like people were starting to experiment with psychedelics because
Yeah.
they're at home, because they're having. I said this the other day. I have friends like this, right? Like that are like new dads, right? Like they have new babies at home,
Hmm.
and up until the pandemic, they'd literally never been home 7 days a week and
Oh
experienced
yeah,
their family and their kids.
they're going
And they're,
crazy.
yeah, and on the flip to that, they're also having like this eye-opening thing of like, yo, damn, somebody should be here with the kids. Like, we should not be away from the kids for 8 hours a day. A lot of shit
That's
can
true
happen. We're
too.
missing out a lot on a lot. And it was cool to hear. I don't know if you heard this. Twitter um, is now legally allowing every employee to never have to come back to an office. They're going to set them up so they can all live at home, because what they found was that the amount of output that they were doing increased because they were running their own thing. They didn't feel the stress of a supervisor over them. You know, like they kind of had pride more in their work because they were doing it when they wanted to do it. And then they were happy because they got to be around their families. So we're proving from right now through a lot of this harmful stuff that's happening, we're also proving these really good things that, you know what, because I for sure believe this, the infrastructure of the old days of like boss, supervisor, get there at 7, go home at 10. It's foolish. It's foolish. It never worked, by the way. That's why we're in this place. That's why we're in where we're at right now, because it never worked. And I think people are getting woken up to that for the first time ever. And I think that's a positive thing, you know?
Most definitely, most definitely. And I feel like it goes back to just the family as a whole. Like, I know there's a lot of domestic violence going on right now too, which is very
Yes.
unfortunate. And
Yep, that's the flip side to it, right?
yeah, that's the flip side of everything right now. It's messed up, bro. I feel like it's messed up. But when it comes down to that, because
Yeah.
people are literally going crazy. I was talking to my homegirl last night, and she's going crazy. Her daughter's 7 years old. She's living with like her cousin and her cousin and her cousin's boyfriend, and her cousin's boyfriend's a crazy ass motherfucker, and
Yeah.
his fool's going crazy too, and everybody in the house is just going crazy. And I want to do something about it, but you know, who am I to? I just told her she needs to talk to someone.
Yeah, dude. I think that's important right now, right? Like, I think one of the things that people can't do is, and that's why this is so dangerous and why it seems so like bullshit, right? Like, it just seems bullshit that they're trying to keep people away from each other when the reality is we need each other more than ever right now. And then there's the flip side to that is that we have these kids who may be in a violent home and all of a sudden they're having to stay home and they're forced to deal with these things. Yeah, man. You know what I heard the other day, which was super interesting. And it just hadn't dawned on me. And when they said it, I was like, oh yeah, of course that makes sense. But none of our government, period, is saying any of the things that, like, literally you just said right now. Hey, you gotta you gotta get healthy. You gotta like be good to people. You gotta watch your mind. That I almost feel like, shouldn't we be running commercials in the United States? Like, hey, take care of your mind, meditate. You know what I mean? Like, go for a jog.
Never see that.
We'll never see that, and that to me is enough for me to think that it's bullshit, right? Because if you cared about your people, you would at least take care of that part. You know?
At least take care of that part. Talk about the immune system. Don't just always talk about wear the mask. You know, that fucks up our immune system at the end of the day, bro.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, man.
So,
I hope that
I
hope that we're coming on to better times, man. I know that you for sure are not going to allow this to take you down at all. So I know I'm happy to see that, bro. I can't wait to see the music coming out. What can we start expecting for what's happening for the rest of the year for you, or early next year? What's going on?
Still going hard with the promo for this album, No Dress Code.
Yes, sir.
It just released like 3 weeks ago, so still fairly new. Just to throw it out there, it features a Bo Rock of the Dove Shack. You know, I got him to do the remix "Summertime" in the SUV instead of LBC. Yeah. So that was a dream come true in itself, man. The first single on that album was actually "Change" with Nate Dogg's son Inhale. We got a video for that. Sounds just like his pops. He's dope, man. Dope, young, talented cat right there doing his thing. Who else is on there? My homie Fetty DeMarco, M. Taylor from Final Level. We also got the homie Sloan Bone from Mo Thugs.
Yeah,
my homie YBE from out here in the 626 holding it down. So that album's dope, man. CC the Mamacita's on it. Romeo from K-Day's on it. J. Cruz of 92.3's on it. Ooh. So go cop that right now, man. All streaming platforms. Physicals coming soon. Vinyl coming soon.
In fact, what we'll do is we'll if you guys are listening to this on any of the platforms where podcasts are found, or you're watching it on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, go to platformcollection.com. We'll post the album right there under the player, so you guys can get that easy link. you won't have to waste any time. You could bump it as you listen to the interview. Man, dude,
Dope, dope.
dude, thank you so much for doing this, bro. Thank you for
No
taking the
worries.
time. You've always been somebody that we support to the fullest. I love the fact that you're out there working, bro. And I can say this for sure. Um, on just all industry shit aside, it couldn't happen to a better dude. You know what I mean?
My boy, I appreciate it for real, for real.
Shout out
I,
to you, my G.
like you said earlier, I'm still a fan. I'm gonna always be a fan, and this is all just part of the journey, man. Let's keep it rocking,
Yes,
and
sir.
look out for that Blackout 3 coming soon. You know I gotta represent it, Papa. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Raider Nation, stand up, man. That's your boy
That's what it
Namek.
is.
Namek, thank you so much, dude. We'll talk again soon, man.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Much love. Copy awesome. All
Yes,
love.
sir. Yeah, dude. That's the homie Namek. Um, what can I say, man? Uh, dude has been grinding for a long time, and is finally getting his due. And he's young. He's still young, man. Still young dude. Um, this is a guy whose whole life has been hip hop. So don't get it fucking twisted. His whole life has been this. So when you ask, like, how come I don't have what somebody else has? Well, you better put in the same amount of work, because that's a real easy answer to the question. Um, Shout out to Namek. Namek626 on Instagram. Follow him there. Once again, if you're listening to this right now, but through via audio, or you're watching it, go over to platformcollection.com. We'll post his latest albums. Maybe throw in some videos right under the player, so we'll make it super easy for you. Get to know Namek if you don't already. He is a Raider Nation staple. I love the Raiders. I always have. Um, yeah, man. It's super dope to be in a place where you could just be really happy for somebody, and super happy for Namek. We've known him for many years, all the way up to the beginnings of Crappy Awesome and Platform Collection, and still to see him rock in and finally getting his just due is an amazing thing. So go check that out, guys. If you guys are like ever really interested in the things that we do, I can tell you it all lives at platformcollection.com. There's other shows going on. It's not just this Crappy Awesome. Um, Tumex is coming back soon. There's Gene Flow has an amazing beat show about creating beats. So does Mike Mackey. Yazzy's doing great Instagram live shows, as well as contributing in writing. A lot of the staff are writing and making shows. So I give it to our staff all the time. I want to give it up to them again because they're absolutely killing it. Shout out to the other people out there in our community that help us. Hip Hop Wins. Go over to Hip Hop Wins Bars Weekly. Shout out to Kali. Shout out to Nate over there. Doing an amazing job with that. Go over to B-Side Show. Shout out to homie Rabbit, who's doing a podcast now. Well overdue, Rabbit. We've been telling you to do a podcast since the moment you came on our show. So it only took 10 years. So shout out to Rabbit. And shout out to B-Side Show, Shop, all the good stuff. They are a staple in the community. Shout out to Husky Radio. OG Husky Radio is amazing. Go there, check them out. Who else? I just want to make sure we're giving love to everybody we need. If you want to give us some love, again, merch at platformcollection.com. Share this video, subscribe, like. That's good enough. Have a great week. Have a great week on us. That'd be amazing. We'll talk to you guys very soon. See you next time.